Sorry. You've just caught me mid-donut. Now, I realise, in hindsight, probably shouldn't have hit record. Probably should have finished my donut first, but you know what? That's what a good podcast would do. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to chapter 113 of Memoirs of a Chewin' White Guy. I'm Luke. I'm your host. And I like donuts. Man. Oh, I love donuts, dude. Anyway, that's the thing. I was eating a donut before the podcast because I was like, I'm such a piece of shit. The other night, I went out and I just got donuts. Yeah. Have you ever done that? Ever been sitting at home and been like, I could go with donut right now and want one enough to actually put on pants, put on shoes, go drive 3 minutes to your local shops, walk in, go to the bakery section. There's so many steps to this. Like, I did all of this. Go walk to the bakery section, and still not one point was I like, this is sad as shit. And then only at the checkout, when the checkout lady went, just getting donuts, are we? Did I go, yeah, okay, this is fucking sad. And then I was like, fuck her, and then I still got them anyway. And, sorry, the memory card just ran out. We're a minute in. What a great start. Eating a donut, and then your camera goes, nah, fuck it. Not today, Luke. So anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, anyway, the checkout lady judged me, and that's my life. That's my life now. I go get donuts because, hey, I'm living my best life. And if you don't go get donuts when you want them, then I guess you're punishing yourself, aren't you? Man, I had a good week. So if you haven't listened to this podcast, right, actually, you know what, before we start, let's go through. I'm doing some dates coming up. Stand-up shows, Tambourine Tour, best show I've ever done. This week, I'm coming to Newcastle, Wollongong, and Sydney, March 14th, 15th, and 16th. Get your tics, I'll see you there. Newcastle and Sydney are getting pretty full, so I'd want to get on it quick. I'm keen to see you all there. And then Melbourne Comedy Festival's coming up after that. So if you haven't got your tickets for Melbourne, doing 15 nights. Alright, now, let's get down to business. People who jog on the spot at traffic lights. You're burning more dignity than carbs. It's so embarrassing. Have you ever seen someone just... I was in the car the other day, right? Just at my local traffic lights. And this bloke just gets to the traffic light, he's going for a jog, hits the button, and just keeps jogging on the spot. Keep that heart rate up. He's looking at his watch. He's like, you fucking nerd. Just stop. Stop running. Have a break. No one's judging you. No one's like, oh, pussy, not running anymore. It was so funny. I could hear him breathing, and it looks like he was struggling more from the running on the spot. He's like, not even I'm that white, man. Not even, if I go for a run, I get to a traffic light, you'll see me, hands on my knees, sucking it in, use that as a break. Be smart about it, man. Not, oh yeah, this will get me fit, jogging on the spot while I'm waiting for this light to go green. If you've got that much energy, it means you should have ran harder before and after the traffic light. No one, just take it off. Anyone who's jogging on the spot at traffic lights, quit. You look like an idiot, okay? That's it. That's my beef this week. And look, it is Memoirs of a White Guy, so what did you expect? I've got to complain about something. My life's awesome. I wake up every day. I got food. I got shelter. I got water. I got a car, right? Because I have a job and I can afford things like that. I'm very privileged. So when I get to the traffic lights, I'm thinking, oh fuck, my life's all well and dandy, and the only thing I have to complain about is some fuckhead going at the traffic lights. So sue me. Fair enough, some of you might have other problems going on. I'm sorry. I am. I'm really sorry. But I don't. You know what? Yeah, that is a big problem. That is a huge problem, and I'm sure of, there's some people who might be having a bad week. Maybe dad left, mum's gone to jail, Jathan, hi if you're listening. That's a callback from a stand-up joke I did 3 years ago. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure there's some horrible things that are happening. But I think even they would agree, as you're watching your dad leave forever, maybe a close friend, you know, dumped you. Maybe got dumped by your girlfriend, right, this week. Whatever happened, you could have had a bad week. At least you didn't see some guy going. If something bad had happened to me before that, like if my life hadn't have been awesome, so say if I had been rolling up to the traffic lights going, I hate my life, I wish I had, I wish I had, you know, whatever, right? Say if I had been super mad, if I had seen that dude, I probably would have got out of the car and said something to him, you know what I mean? I would have been so distressed by that point, I just would have taken anything out on him. I would have been like, Centrelink's not paying, give him my payments, blah blah blah, and then this bloke gone would have copped it. I just spat all over the camera then. Oh, that was disgusting. I just went and then all this spit just say it, don't spray it, Luke. Sorry for if you're watching the podcast, I just rained on the screen. Yeah. So what's happening? Okay. I made another enemy this week. If you listen to last week's podcast, go check it out, because Fantastic Furniture became the official enemy of Memoirs of a White Guy. It was war. Customer service warfare between me, someone who has nothing better to do, and B, a company who has bad customer service. Fantastic Furniture, you're off the hook. You've been outdone. This week, I've had dealings with Optus. Furniture company, a breeze, piece of cake compared to a huge phone provider. Anyone ever called a customer service line for like their phone bill? Never again. Honest to God, it was one of the most painful experiences of my life. So, if you didn't listen to last week's podcast, I'm trying to get you guys the ability to knock me up. I want everyone listening to knock me up on this Nokia, right? I'm trying to get this phone working. And it's going to be the only communication method to the podcast, just with the knock. And great, I've worked out how to turn the phone on. And if you're watching the screen, you'll see here that on the little Nokia phone screen, it says phone restricted. So I did I did some DuckDuckGoing, right? I didn't put it in Google. I put it in the more superior search engine, DuckDuckGo. And what I found was that I had to unlock my phone, and it said contact your current service provider and they will give you an unlock code. And I was like, great, sounds like a walk in the park. So I called Optus's support line, which took me way too long to find, by the way. Their website's like, what's your problem? Can we help you with it? And they literally try and give you as much information so as little people call the helpline as possible. I called so at first, this is actually where it starts. It doesn't even start with fucking Optus. It said on one website to call your old service provider. So the old SIM card that was in this phone used to be my dad's, and he was on Virgin. So at first, I called Richard Branson's squad, and I was like, yo, boys, got laid yet? And they were like, nah. But they also said, hey, sorry, I didn't actually speak to anyone. It was just a computer, right, that never fucked before because it worked for Virgin. That joke is not funny. And I was like, I went to talk to someone, and it was just a computer voice that went, hello, and welcome to Virgin. Unfortunately, we have been bought out. Like, it literally said that. We have been bought out by a competitor, Optus. So if you have any queries regarding your current Virgin phone plan, prepaid plan, or home phone plan, please call the customer service line at Optus. Thank you for calling Virgin. This is Richard Branson. Goodbye. It wasn't Richard, I don't think. But man, I was like, that's hilarious, firstly, that they've just like openly been like, we've gone bankrupt, call someone else. I was like, great, I'll call Optus. And that's perfect because Optus are the company that I got my new SIM card with, right? I don't know why. I should have just gone with Telstra. I'm a dumbass. It was yellow, and it was the first one I saw when I went to the place, right, to buy a SIM card. I was like, okay, cool. So I called Optus. Took me ages to find that. What the fuck? It cut out again. Dude, I need to upgrade this camera now. What is wrong with this camera? it's cut out. It's like, so I use a camera which has a great microphone on the top to record this podcast, and it cut out again, but I cleared the space on this. Maybe I didn't clear enough space on the SD card. I deleted like 3 videos. I thought I deleted one that went for 30 minutes. I must have deleted one that went for like 2 minutes. That's so annoying. Alright, it's good now. I've now deleted a bunch of shit, so we're back, and I won't cut out again. Okay. Sorry. What was I talking about? Optus, right. Okay, it's been like 5 minutes since I was last talking about it. Okay. Optus, I call Optus, right? And man, at the start of it, like the phone call, I was like a little chirpy songbird. I was so happy. I felt fulfilled. I felt almost, you could say, like, what's more than happy? I felt overjoyed. I was like, I'm going to get this phone, but he sorted it in no time. Optus is going to be great because they're a big company. They'll know how to help me out. I'm sure they get this problem every day. Wrong. Called Optus. Get through to their customer support line, which is just a robot. It's just R2-D2 going, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. You're fucked. Right, and then it hung up on me once. The first time, maybe I hung up. I don't know, I'm an idiot. But I swear to God, they hung up on me. I was like, alright, I called again. He went, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. R2-D2 again answers the phone, and I'm like, yo, R2, what up? But it's just a robot, so they're not answering. And it goes, can you please put in your customer support line? And I'm like, no. It goes, can you put in your customer service number? If you don't have that, can you please put in your current Optus phone number? And I was like, okay, I don't have a current Optus phone number because the problem is I can't fucking activate my phone because this phone is locked. So I put in the number that's on the SIM card. I was like, maybe that will work. I put in this number that is about to be an Optus phone number, but I just can't activate it yet because the whole reason why I'm calling it is because the phone is locked and I can't get into it. It says it's restricted. So I call it, and then, you know, I put it in. They don't accept the phone number. It goes, I'm sorry, this is not a current registered Optus phone number. And I was like, fucking, of course it's not. So I was like speaking to people in the Patreon group chat, and we're all talking about what I was going to do. And I was like, what should I do? Optus won't pick up. And then someone's like, just like try and speak to a person, and then they'll be able to transfer you too. And I was like, boom, great idea. So I called their sales team, which is just the guys who are like, yeah, do you want an internet plan? I can sort that out. They don't give a fuck about my problem, and I knew that, but I was like, whatever, I just want to speak to a human. So I called their sales team, thinking, you'd think if you called a sales team, you'd think that Optus would employ one person. They probably employ thousands of people around Australia. You'd think one person's job would to be like, hey, what's up? This is Optus sales team. How may we sell something to you? You would think that, but you'd be wrong. I called Optus sales, beep boop, beep boop. It's fucking R2-D2 again, and now he's got his mate C3PO. And I was like, hello. And he was like, hello, welcome to Optus. Cyborg Communications. We can speak over 30 million different languages. And then I was just like, oh, like, what is your name? And I was like, oh, Luke. And he's like, oh, Master Skywalker. Thank you for calling Optus. And I was like, no, my name's Luke Kidgell. And he's like, are you sure? My old friend, Master Skywalker, he sometimes used to call Optus. And I was like, C3PO, pass me on to a human. Right, all I wanted was this fucking robot voice to pair me to a human being. That's all anyone wants when they call the phone number. No one's ever like, oh, call this fucking phone number so I can speak to C3PO. Nah. It's so stupid. Every place, like, it's so sad for humans that our jobs are already being replaced. People always fantasize about that, or like it's always in science fiction, like, or in the near distant future, maybe humans will get replaced by robots. Fucking call Optus. They already have been. Dude, all you'll speak to is some droid who doesn't know who the fuck you are or what you're saying. Like, it's one of those ones as well where it's not like you go, it's not the ones where you go for, you know, like the ones that give you options. They go like, for home service, press 2. For anything mobile related, press 3. It wasn't one of those. It was like, please state clearly the purpose of your call. And I was like, general query. And it was like, I'm sorry, we did not get that. And I was like, fuck off, C3PO. I was like, fine. It's like, could you please restate the purpose of your call? And I was like, general question for Optus. And it's like, I'm sorry,
We did not get that. And I was like, hey, C-3PO, you're really starting to piss me the fuck off. So, I kept calling it. Eventually, it goes, okay, we are not hearing what you're saying. We will transfer you to a sales team member now. And I was like, great, you could have started off with that. Because clearly, your little fucking text, like your voice automation, your droids are fucked. That's what I'm saying, alright? You need someone to fix your droids, because R2 and C-3PO got a lot dumber since the last Star Wars film. I'm like, at the start he's like, I spoke 30 million languages, but apparently not English. So I got through to some guy. Now, I don't remember the guy's name. His name was quite long, but he was very helpful. And this guy, I don't want to trash him. He was never helpful. He's like, no worries, man. Oh, he goes, yeah, I've had that with a phone before. I definitely feel your problem. Well, you know what, man? I'm actually working at the sales team, but what I can do for you is I can transfer you to a support member. And I was like, great. And then I was like, oh, no, wait. Is it going to be a person? And he's like, yeah, I'll just transfer you to our support team. They're great guys. And I was like, awesome. I can't wait. Thanks, dude. And I forgot his name again, so I was like, thanks, man. And then he's like, no worries. And then I was like, all right, sweet. And then he put me on hold. And you know, whenever you're on hold to like a big corporation, the longer you're on hold for, the hope that they'll eventually pick up starts to diminish. The longer you're on hold for, the sadder it becomes. And it wasn't good hold. There's some things that's like, it's good hold, it's upbeat, it's funky, you know, like those beats when they play, they're like, I realize that's just Baby Shark. Baby jigong, right? It wasn't that. It was shitty hold music. It was like garage band 2009 elevator music, like and every time it went, I just kept going like, and like twitching. I was like, I don't want to hear that noise again. And it didn't change for ages. And then eventually, I got some violin. It was like, I realized that's just Coldplay. But anyway, oh, it wasn't Coldplay. I wish, right? And then I was so frustrated. So it got to 8 minutes on hold, and I'm in the Patreon group chat, right? And I was so speaking to people. I was like, guys, I've been on hold for 8 minutes. Fuck this. Like, this is so bad. Everyone's like, stick it out. We believe in you. And I was like, all right. And they're like, because, you know, last week on the story last week on the podcast, I told stories about me being a coward. You know, I was on Fantastic Furniture, and I cowered, man. And you know what? I was like, fine. I'm not going to be that. It's like, new week, new Luke. So I was like, I'm going to wait Optus out here. They think they can wait me out. I betcha there's just a bunch of dudes in the office jacking off, doing fuck all, playing badminton over the desk. You know what I mean? You know I've seen a call center before. It's people just taking 20-minute shits. I'm on phone. I'm like, there's people on hold. You know what I mean? I was like, I get it. You don't want to take my call as much as I want to be making the call. But at the end of the day, it's your job. You're being paid $11 an hour for it. So I'd love it if you picked up. So I'm still there waiting on hold. Listen. And at this point, I would end it all. I want to end it. And I was like, look, the chances of them actually picking this up were getting to about 20%. I was on hold. I think the estimated call time, I think it was like 28 minutes or something, my call time. I'll check it out. I think it was like 28 minutes. And, oh my god, it was ridiculous. What's the call? Outgoing call, 28 minutes and 49 seconds. That's how long this call went for. So I was on hold for about 27 minutes. And I waited him out. Then, gets to 27 minutes into hold. And I've almost given up at this point. I was about a minute of hanging up. And then I hear like the ringing sound that it makes when they transfer you to a new department. And I was like, oh, we're on here, right? And it rings like 3 times. And then it just goes, beep, 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 boop. And it hangs up. they fucking hung up on me. It got transferred to support, and someone at support went, nah, gonna keep jerking off and play badminton, and then just served it over the desk. Optus, I'm a white boy with a podcast. Do you know who I am? I could slightly bury you. Maybe, not really. I will do my best though, because this means fucking war. Okay? This is war. So, what did I tell you guys to do last week? It's only good advice if you do it yourself. Alright, I practice what I preach. What did I tell you? I said, guys, if you want to get ahead in life, threaten your enemies. It's the only way to get ahead. So what did your boy Luke go do? I went onto Twitter, which is how most problems are solved. And I tweeted, I just spent 25 minutes on hold to Optus, ... then they hung up on me. I'm a white boy with a podcast at Optus. Yeah, I tagged them. I'm petty, motherfucker. And then I said, this means war. Full stop. 62 likes. Optus, at this point, must be shitting themselves. They must be going, uh-oh, how big's his podcast? Probably not very big. They're correct. But one day, these episodes could get a bunch of listens, and then Optus will be fucked. Sorry, that whistle took me 3 goes. Then I receive a reply, because again, I'll say it once and I'll say it again. If you want to get ahead in life, threaten your enemies. Optus, morning Luke, they replied. Yeah, morning Luke, oh my, sorry about that. Can you please send me a DM with a little more info around what you need help with? I'll see what I can do on my end. Shauna. From Lexa, Customer Engagement Hub. Hey Optus. Too late. The war started. I'm sorry. You know wars start? Someone fucks up, and then the other person declares war. I don't know how World War 1 or 2 started, but I'm sure Germany were doing some fucked up shit, and then America were like, nah, we declare war. I'm America. You already did some fucked up shit. But we didn't mean to kill that many Jews. That's Optus, right? I'm not saying Optus killed Jews, I'm just saying this is a metaphor. Oh, but we didn't mean to do that. And America's like, if America had been like, oh, well great, you replied to me on Twitter, so war's over. Optus, this is war. This is battles. This is conflict. This is World War III. Not really, but this is big. And you can't just resolve it with a reply on Twitter. Too late, motherfuckers. And you know what, guys? This is what I'm doing. This is how much I'm committing to this fight against Optus. I'm moving to Telstra. Yep. The official podcast phone. Not going to be with Optus from now on. Getting rid of it. Unless I can get the Optus thing to work, and then I'll just happily go with Optus, because it means I don't have to go to the shops again. But but nah, fuck him, dude. I was so mad. That's so annoying. And then I thought all was lost, and I thought, oh no, I'm not going to be able to get this phone working. People aren't going to be able to knock me up. I was thinking I'm going to have to go to the shops, buy a new phone. But I wanted it to be the oldest phone I could find. And my dad's 2011 Nokia was the oldest knocking me up device I could find. Then I got a message from a hero, because not all heroes wear capes, ladies and gentlemen. Some of them are in my Patreon Discord chat. It was a young man named James who stepped up to the plate and said, Luke, I have an old Nokia phone which is completely unlocked, not linked to any network, and I'm willing to donate it to the widest podcast in Australia to be the official phone and communication method of the podcast. And I said, James, kneel before me. And he went, oh, but Luke, I was merely just offering my phone. And I said, do not be afraid, my young James. I am knighting you. For you have achieved, I don't know, he didn't get knighted because it was over a group chat. But if I could, and if he was in front of me, I would have knighted him, because that is honor, what he's doing. He's donating his old family's Nokia to the podcast. He's sending it by mail from Adelaide to Melbourne. What a champion. Ladies and gentlemen, could we all please stop what you're doing? If you're on a train, if you're on a tram, if you're in class, if you're doing your assignment right now at home, or if you're just listening, or if you're just watching this, right, let's just all take a moment to clap James. That's enough. All right, he's not doing that good of a thing. But, nah, thanks, James. I appreciate it, dude. So, this week, hopefully the phone will come, and then you guys can knock me up. And you can have the ability. But, yeah, again, don't direct... If you wanted to knock me up this week and you had something to give the podcast, I'm sorry. But, don't blame me. Direct all complaints to Optus. And you'll speak to C3PO and... Good luck, right? You won't get anyone on there either. But, yeah. So, that's what's been doing this week. I've been mad. I started to think, by the way, before I move on, I often start wars and enemies with companies. And maybe, look, some people point out to me, hey, Luke, you get frustrated very easily. And I'm always like, no, but it's like Optus' fault and like, fuck Fantastic Furniture. They didn't deliver my thing on time. At some point, I've realised that if you keep having the same problem over and over with different companies, people, at some point, you need to start looking inward. You need to start going, am I the problem? Now, in this case, maybe I was not the problem, because it was rude to hang up on me after 27 minutes. I did my end. But, maybe, no, you know what? Fuck everyone. I'm not the problem. People just need to be nicer to me. Big corporations need to start treating their customers with respect, or I will gladly come on my podcast every week and go to town. Dude, I don't even give a shit if it's a big corporation. Alright, we do it on our radio show. Lewis has a segment called Businesses Exposed. I've started a segment called Luke's Stern Warnings. I'm not afraid to bring that segment onto the podcast. If you've never listened to it, it's where I give businesses a stern warning. And granted, it's a lot more effective on radio because thousands and thousands of people listen to that shit in the car. But, I still think I can give stern warnings out on a podcast because you never know. I'm sure someone who listens to this podcast has some affiliation with Optus. And I want you to pass my feedback on that their customer service is bullshit. And if I ever have to speak to C3PO again, can I please get an autograph next time instead of him hanging up on me? So, yeah, that's it. That was my week. I was so angry. And, I hate to be negative all the time, guys, but it's hard being white. You guys know how it is. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're not white. And I always wanted to know if, like, people... Because I joke about being white a lot on this podcast. You know, I always go like, oh, isn't it funny? Because, you know... But I always wanted to know, like, do only white people listen to this? Like, I don't know if, like... Let me know if you're not white. Like, totally hit me up. I'd love to have a chat, man, and just message me and be like, yeah, man, I'm not white, but I love. Maybe like it's a fascination. You know how like when white people go to like China and stuff, people just get stared at. Apparently, like if you're blonde and you're white, Chinese people will just be like and stare at you in amazement, like because you're just like an artifact to them. Maybe that's what this is like. So maybe there's a bunch of people from other cultures and countries and nationalities who listen to this podcast and they just listen because it's like a fascinating insight into what being a privileged asshole is. They're like, wow, he has how many wheat bix every morning? That's amazing. 8? I think Brett Lee does 9. Incredible. He likes fairy bread? No way. What? He gets mad at people jogging at the traffic lights? Wow, I wish we even had traffic lights. That's crazy. I'm such a prick. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming back on board with the podcast, by the way. It's so awesome to have all you guys back. Man, like the numbers hardly dropped. I thought it might drop a bit and I thought I might have to rebuild it a little bit from scratch, but man, people are back on the meme train, and it's great to have you on board. The Patreon's kicking off. That's awesome. The group chat's popping. We're talking about The Bachelor. What do you guys think about the new Bachelor? The new Bachelor got revealed. I'm recording this on Thursday. And if you want the podcast early, you can get it on Patreon. But you guys will hear it on Monday if you're listening to it. Yeah, the new Bachelor was announced this morning. I'll get a picture of him up now. I thought it was going to be Scott Tweedy from Prank Patrol, which I was super stoked about. That was the rumoured thing. Hang on, where's Facebook? The Bachelor. The guy who they announced, look, I don't want to trash him because he looks like a real sweetheart, but bit of a soy boy. You know what I mean? Looks like a fucking beta. Like, it looks like one of those guys you meet at parties who he's with his like super hot girlfriend, and you're kind of like going like, wow, he must have the best personality. You know those guys that like, he's got glasses. I also have glasses though. I'm not saying that having glasses is even bad or even unattractive, but it's just like, he's not your typical bachelor. Like, that's what I'm trying to say is the first bachelor they went with was Tim Robarts. Hunk. Like, real gym junkie. He's a personal trainer. You know, kind of resembles me, maybe a little more tan, but kind of that alpha male beach bod appeal. So if you kind of look at what I'm rocking, then imagine kind of a more Italian bronzed version of this. That's what kind of the first Bachelor was. And then they went to Sam, who was also like a personal trainer. They went back-to-back PTs. And then we got like Maddie J, who was the sweetheart. That douchebag Blake, he was like he was more like an American Bachelor. You know, douchebag, he would fuck your girl and then not apologize. That kind of guy, which he did, I think, in the end. You know, that dude's... But... And then we got the Honey Badger, which was like a real left of field one, like that Aussie bogan. And what they've gone for now is that, like, I have a degree, I owe the government 50 grand, but I've got a comfortable job. I want 3 kids, 2 boys, 1 girl. I want a picket fence in my house. I wear glasses because my eyes are a bit fucked, but I'm not ashamed of it. They've just gone for this dude who's like the most normal person alive. Which is fine, but I don't know if that makes good entertainment. I'm looking at him. Here's a picture of him now on the screen. And yeah, just his name's Matthew Agnew or something. Let's read about him. I haven't read. Here's everything we need to know about this season's Bachelor. Inspired after seeing a lot of his mates getting hitched, Matt realised he was finally reaching the point where he wanted to find someone to start that journey with. So he was wanking. That's what that means. So he was alone in his bedroom, flogging his dick, and he went, fuck, I should get some Instagram followers and find a few girls to kiss. And good on you, Matt. I can respect that. 31 years old, was raised in Adelaide and Perth. Poor dude. So he's gonna be depressed. But he made his home in Melbourne. Okay, so he's probably happier now. His love for the stars has seen him travelling around the world, taking him from Berlin to Buenos Aires in Sweden. How do you pronounce that country? Buenos Aires. I know I'm saying that wrong. I bet I'm saying it wrong. And everyone's going to be like, oh, you dickhead. By the way, he's an astrophysicist. I didn't read that at the start. And they keep using, like, rocket puns. They're like, he's reaching for the stars this season. Or, like, he's launching his search. And you're like, I get it. He works with stars in space. You know, you don't need to be like, wow, his personality's as bright as the sun, which he looks at through his telescope. I don't even know if that's what an astrophysicist is, but I think it is. Not only... Wasn't Stephen Hawking an astrophysicist? So he's pretty much... like hunky alpha Stephen Hawking. Not only is he out of his world, is he an out of this world babe, but this batch is smart, like real smart. Matt has a PhD in the Center for Astrophysics and Supercomputing at Swinburne. Cool, dude. Supercomputing. So it's like not only are you not a normal nerd, it's like you can't look people in the eye because you're a supercomputing nerd. Whatever that means. When he's not starring in in real life version of Interstellar. What? Oh, right. They're referring that he's like Matthew McConaughey. Our future Batchy says he's ready to drive into that Bachelor experience and also drive into 21 girls as pussies. I've got a real this is a quote from him. I've got a real do it once, do it right mentality. So I'll be making sure I throw myself in to be vulnerable and enjoy what comes from that. Yeah, he really keeps talking about throwing himself in. Make sure you put on a condom first, champ. You're being very eager. It may be an unorthodox way to meet someone, but I think it'll be a sensational experience and make for a cracking how we met story. Look, it's better than Tinder, you know what I mean? It's better than... So I swiped left. Oh, no, swipe right. It's swiping right. I don't have Tinder, so I don't know. I swiped right, and there she was. First, I thought she was an Indian man, but then as soon as we met up with her, I went, wow, I'm not being catfished for once. My asshole is safe this time. It's better than that, I'll admit. It's better going, yeah, we met on Channel 10 and Osher was there. And everyone will be like, oh, fuck, Osher was there. That's so great. Tell us more about him and less about your life and relationship. For his future bachelorettes, Matt says, all you need to do is get his attention. Oh, wait. All you need to do to get his attention is... Okay, before I even read this, I know he's going to be like, is to be boring, because that's what he'll want. You know how sometimes after you've been talking for like 20 minutes about a topic you're really excited about, you apologise for being boring and waffling on? That. Oh, I nailed it! He wants someone to waffle on about boring shit with him. He wants that. He literally said he wants someone who apologises for being boring and waffling on. That is what I want. Oh man, this is gonna suck this season. It's gonna be Osher coming in going like, guys, are we done talking about science? We need someone to slap each other in the face. We're trying to get views. And then they'll be like, oh, sorry, we're just talking about this new satellite, which is actually being launched next week by NASA. And the funny thing is, and Osher's just going to be like, great. And then just slap the shit out of one of them. And then it's going to cut to the promo like, Osher's. You know what I mean? Like, that's content. And Osher knows that. And I worry that Osher's going to have to do a lot of cleaning up because this bloke sounds fucking boring. Okay, this is like going to be so boring. I haven't even read it. I've just read Matt's idea of a perfect date is probably like doing the crossword, Scrabble nights. Oh, let's play Guess Who, and then we can talk about our feelings. Matt's idea of a perfect date is either something low-key, like a cozy dinner and a few drinks, or skydiving in New Zealand. Oh, bullshit. Bullshit, he likes skydiving. And staying in an ice hotel, or watching the aurora on Scandinavia. In Scandinavia, he told us. Oh my god. Except for skydiving, that's so boring. But I bet you they wrote skydiving because they were like, man, say something interesting. Anyway, that's it. They keep doing these lame planet puns. Matt staring into a bachelorette eyes and swooning as he tells her how signs of subsurface oceans on Pluto... Oh, fuck off. Anyway, that's the new Bachelor. I guess it'll be interesting. You know what? He might surprise me. Often I'll go in negative. About the Bachelor. I was pretty positive last year about the Honey Badger, and it ended up being pretty lame. So what do I know? This guy could be the bomb diggity. But anyway, that's the new Bachelor, which is cool. And is there anything else I wanted to talk about on the podcast? I wanted to hang on. I'm just gonna go close my door. All right, I'm back. So, what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about one more thing. What was the thing? Oh yeah, Uber pool. Who's got an Uber pool? I'm sure people have done it. I think it's just come in. I think it's in Australia now. I did it in LA when I was over there last year, and I've been meaning to talk about it for ages. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. Right? If you don't know what Uber pool is, it's like for cheapskates who don't want to pay a full Uber fare, so they go and pick other people up on the way to their destination and take like a 40-minute detour. So if you want the inconvenience of a bus and the legroom of a Hyundai, you will love Uber pool. It's like one of the worst experiences I've ever had. I was with Joseph in LA, and we were we're like, oh, we want to go to Venice Beach, and it was like a long trip, and I was like, oh, it'll be cheaper if we get Uber Pool. We'll save $3. So we're like, yep, let's do it. And then we did it, and man, I'm in a back seat. I found myself 10 minutes later in a back seat, cramped up between this big bloke, right? Everyone's like, oh, you can't say fat. He was super fat. He was like a big blobby. It was like a blob, right? You know that like green thing in the movie Blubber? He was like a human version of Blubber. Right? Oh no, is it Flubber? It's Flubber. That Robin Williams movie. Whatever. He was a blubber though. Because he was a big old blub. And whatever. It was America. He was fat. They all are. So he was taking up all the seat, right? And I was like, that's fine if you're fat. But don't take an Uber Pool. That should be the rule. If you are going to take up 2 seats, get your own car. Okay? But he was in the back and he's like, oh, sorry. And I was like, what, for your ass? What are you apologizing for? And then he pulled out of his bag this big stanky burger. You know those burgers where they got like cheese on them and like the bunch of sauce, and if you put them in a confined space, all you can smell, you just like up your nose, it just like sits there for days in your, is it like your sinus? And you just, like 3 days later, it was such a bad smelling burger that it was so bad the smell that like I moved on with my life. And then 3 days later, I was walking to the airport at LAX and I just went, like I walked up some stairs or something, took in a big breath and went, and I got a waft of 3-day-old stanky blubber burger. That's how bad this burger stank. And he pulls it out in this Uber Pool. It's me and Joseph in the back. There's this other stranger in the front. And I'm like, this is not worth saving $3. And he starts eating his stanky burger. He goes, oh, hope you guys don't mind if I eat my burger. And everyone was thinking, no, we absolutely do. It stinks like butts. And I know I'm going to have this smell in my nostrils for 3 days. But he's like, oh, are we all cool with it? And everyone was like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. And I started to like wind down my window. I was like, oh, I'll just try and like, I leaned across Joseph and I started to wind down the window. And then the Uber driver was like, oh, sorry, I don't actually like the windows wound down. Can we leave it up? It's getting a bit cold. And I was like, it's 26 degrees. We're in LA. It's not cold. And this guy's got a stanky ass burger in the back. Alright, he's blubbing all over me. The least you can do is give me some fresh air. And I was just, at this point I wanted to get out, but I already committed to this idea, and I was like, look, I want to get the full Uber Pool experience. And now I realize that is the Uber Pool experience. We dropped the girl off in the front, she left, and now it's just me, Stanky Burger Dude, and Joseph in the back seat. And I was like, Joseph, and I was like, oh, do you want to go sit in the front now that there's no one in the front? And then I can move over, and I'm not being blubbed on by this blub man. And then the Uber driver's like, no, we'll be picking up someone in a sec. They'll sit in the front. You guys just hang tight at the back. And at this point, the burger dude, he's almost got his burger down. He's doing the things where, like, you get to the end of the burger and he's like, and he's licking his fingers next to me, and I can hear him go, it's like slurping down his fingers like it's from 7-Eleven Slurpee. He's like, and I was like, are you alright? And he's like, yeah, mate, just getting every last drop. But he wasn't that. He was like this American guy who's like, how do you do an American accent? He's like, yeah, mate. Oh, no, wait. I'm just lost an American accent. How do I do that? Oh, my God. Yeah, okay. So he was like, yeah. Oh, no, he didn't say mate. That's what I'm doing wrong. He definitely didn't say mate. Because he was like, yeah, man. I'm just getting every last drop, if you know what I mean. So he's like, he's sucking on his pinky, right? And I was like, dude, there is a grown blub man next to me. Some flubber-ass looking dude slurping his fingers in the back of an Uber. This is not worth saving $3. Dude, I was like, I will give you $3 if you just stop slurping. I'll give you $1 for every finger that you don't slurp in your mouth. And he's like, and then this is what got me right. So I was like, oh, this is already gross. And this guy, by this point, it was a hot day, and that he wouldn't let us wind down the window, so it was getting hot. He's sweating all over my arm. One of my arms just like got out of the car, and it was just drenched. It was like I like laid in a puddle and then got out of it and went, oh no, but it was just blub sweat. And he was like, oh yeah, it's pretty hot back here. And then I was like, yeah, because but he's got the meat sweats as well, because he's eating a beef burger, so I got blub meat sweats all over me. And then, it's like the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Now that I'm saying it out loud, this is so bad. And he finally gets to the end of the Uber, and just before, he's like, oh, my stop's just up there. And I was like, finally. Then, just as he goes to get out, He licks. The guy, shit you not, he licks, slurps up the paper of the burger. You know, like the gross oil and stuff when you eat a burger out of like a packet, and all that's at the bottom is like sauce, a bit of leftover lettuce, and that like browny oil. It just looks like Shrek Swamp, but with lettuce in it. And then he just goes. I was gagged on Joseph. He just went, and then the disrespect on this dude, right? He then has the balls. He left his rubbish in the Uber. He left his stanky, blubby, meat sweat rubbish that he's just gone. He slurped up paper on the floor of the Uber. And then for the rest of the trip, it's a long trip between Hollywood and Santa Monica and like Venice Beach and stuff. About 45 minutes trip. For the next 20 minutes, we still had to sit there and smell his stanky burger, which is why it was lodged in my nostrils 3 days later. So, my advice here is, don't get Uber Pool, because you don't know. I'm sure there's some people who've had a good experience with Uber Pool. Not me, my friend. I got meat sweated on by a big old blubbernaut who slurped up his Shrek oil. That's like at the end of the day, and I'm such a coward that I just went. I just was like, at the end it was like, how would you like to rate your experience today? And I should have been like 1 star and explained that entire story and been like, slurped guy, blubbed all over me, meat sweats, he stank, I'm gonna smell this in 3 days time, 1 star. Nah. I'm a coward. I went, yeah, it was great, 5 stars. And now Uber are probably thinking, wow, our new service is great. Everyone loves it. So, you know what? New enemy of the podcast. Not Uber, Uber Pool. If you're catching Uber Pools, you're doing it wrong. And I bet you I'm not the only one listening right now who has had a rubbish Uber Pool experience. And yeah, that's the end of the podcast, guys. Thank you very much for listening. As I said earlier, I'm going on tour next week. I mean, I'm on tour right now. I did Bendigo, Geelong. I've done Perth. This weekend, for you guys, I'm going to Newcastle, Wollongong, and Sydney. Those shows are all filling up quick. It's going to be super fun. And then I go to the Melbourne Comedy Festival, doing 15 nights there. So bring your friends, bring your dog. It's going to be sick. The weekends are already filling up really quick. First weekend already almost sold out. And yeah, man, thank you guys so much for listening. Tell a friend about the podcast. Leave a rating on iTunes. Next week I'll leave some iTunes reviews. We're back in the charts, and it feels good. Haven't been in them charts for a while now. It's great. So yeah, back in the charts. We hit top 50 in the country of comedy podcasts this week. Let's get back at top 50. I think we're sitting at like 100 now. It's no good. Alright, so leave a review. And yeah, it all helps. Appreciate it, guys. See you next week. Thanks for watching / listening. Bye.